Welcome to Masterpiece Tarot. Here you'll find timeless messages to guide your soul's awakening. If you're here, trust. You are meant to be. You can show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing. These help support my mission of creating more peace on Earth. Welcome in, Collective. I'm going to go ahead and jump right into a Divine Feminine reading. Spirit, thank you for using me as a channel to bring through these messages for the collective. Okay, let us see what Spirit would like to share. Talk to us about Divine Feminine, Spirit. This is for the feminine collective, male or female. This might resonate, okay? A couple more here, and we'll dive right in. Okay, Spirit, talk to us here about Divine Feminine. The Star. Ah, nice first card out, okay? If this is you, collective, you might be on a healing journey. You might really have reached quite some heights with this healing that you've been doing, okay? You are rising and shining very brightly here in the star energy. A lot of healing has already occurred. And here we have a 7 of Swords. Okay. We have 7 of Swords. What's in the conscious space here, Spirit? We have a Queen of Swords. And in the unconscious space, we have an Empress. Okay. 7 of Swords is about deception, being sneaky, being dishonest, cheating another, stealing from another. Okay. And stealing can happen energetically, it can happen materially, okay, but there's a sense of deception. Recent past here for feminine. Oh, the 3 of Swords. Yeah. Devastation. Deep pain. And in the future we have a Wheel of Fortune. Karmic wheel is going to turn and help get you through here. This is some heavy energy that you're going through, collective. You know, if your core frequency is a star and you are dealing with, you know, a 7 of Swords and a 3 of Swords in the past, that looks a little bit challenging. So we're going to go through this and see. So much Swords. 9 of Swords. This is being all up in your head. Yeah. All up in your head, having a hard time. So you're really feeling it. The good thing is, though, I think you have a sense that this is almost over. It's almost over. One more sword, and it's all over. Okay. And here in the community, we have an Ace of Pentacles. So this is an energy that is impacting you, collective. All right, so there could be an aspect or an energy happening out in the environment or within the community that is focused on some type of a new beginning in the material. Financial, it could be an investment. Yeah, planting a seed too. And we have an Ace of Swords here. This is the hope or the fear. It's probably more like a hope because the Ace of Swords is a card that speaks to clarity, truth. And of course, it is a new beginning as well. And it is about the individual. Okay. And so there's a sense, you know, aces are awesome because, like we were just saying, can't always control others. I might have said it in the previous reading, but we can certainly, you know, have some say-so in what happens in our own lives. If we focus too much on what's going on out there, it starts to be pretty disempowering because we really have no control over it, right? And then now we have a Six of Wands. Is it? Yeah, Six of Wands. This is a victory. Okay. Six of Wands is somebody who has come home from battle, and there's a sense of celebration, and it's been a long battle. But now you're being seen and celebrated, as you should, because you are the star. And we end here with the Lover's card. That's a nice way to end the reading after a difficult moment there. Yeah, okay. Well, I think we've got the overall energy. Let's go ahead and get some clarifiers here. Clarify this star energy. Collective, this is just a beautiful energy to be in, and I love that we've got the Wheel of Fortune in the near future and a pathway with a couple of aces, a victory, and then a Lovers. So I kind of feel like if you're single now, you might not be single for much longer, or you might be meeting somebody who's going to become a lover or something like this. All right, let's see here. We have a Knight of Swords, the Chariot, and the Five of Wands. Yeah. There we go. That's a little better, isn't it, guys? All right. So, you, collective, are on the move. You are. It looks like you are, you know, racing into battle with this group. You know, I don't think that you will necessarily confront them directly, but in a way you are. You're meeting this energy. You're facing this energy. This is what is going on in your energy right now. You're taking swift action, and there is a sense of momentum here. And it's almost as if this is a battle that you don't have much choice but to fight, because as a star energy, I don't think that's something you would be seeking out, okay? You've done enough healing to know that that's not something you really want in your energy. Okay, if you can help it, but you'll deal with it if it's there, right? All right, now, what's with this Seven of Swords, this sneakiness, this deception, possibly this thievery, okay? What's going on here? Oh, and a Ten of Swords. Well, we got our Ten of Swords. We said one more and it'll be over. It is going to be over here, collective, okay? And now we have an Empress, which is our card in the unconscious space. And we have a Two of Pentacles. Yeah. This is an external energy, okay? This is an external energy, and I have a feeling that they're trying to, this energy, whatever it is out in the environment, I think it might have to do with resources, and it's almost as if they're playing you, they're juggling you somehow, okay? And they've put these swords in your back, and the reason I say that, this is you, okay, right here in the Empress. But the reason I say they've put 4 swords in your back is because, I mean, they've put, well, actually, 19 or however many it is, 17 swords in your back. The reason I say that is that, you know, when we are traumatized or we're injured or somebody attacks us or whatever we go through that's difficult and painful, sometimes our positive qualities, the thing that makes us powerful and helps us to emit our light, when you get bullied or that happens over time, many times, you will suppress a certain aspect of yourself because it's not safe for that aspect of yourself to be out here. That's the very thing that causes people to get all up in arms and start acting weird, like, they want to take you down because I don't know what they think, but that is really what happens. It's human behavior. Dogs do it, everybody with their little pecking orders and all that crap. So there is a sense that you are this empress, you have been attacked, and you're trying to balance things out in your life now. And there are certain parts of yourself that are perhaps your most beautiful qualities that have been suppressed by your own mental process. It's some type of a self-protection. If you look meek, they're not going to attack you, right? Basically. And you're tired of being attacked, so it's better to turn the light down. But how can you? Because you are, at your core, you are the star. Right, so this is the energy that's blocking you, okay? This sense that you have for some time not been able to shine as you should, as who you are. And so instead of being out there shining, you are like gearing up for battle and going to go deal with whatever that 5 of Wands is out there. Okay, now, who's this Queen of Swords? We have an Emperor, we have a 7 of Pentacles, and we have a World card. Well, the Queen of Swords, this is an air sign feminine, and probably the Emperor. Okay, so we've got a air sign feminine partnered up maybe with a boss, okay, some type of a leader. There's a sense that they've been building something and it's come along, okay, and perhaps now the cycle's closing out. I don't know. That's what the energy suggests. The world is about, achieving something. Okay, yes, we've achieved 7 pentacles. And this is something you're aware of. Where you fit into this, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe that's you there in the world. Collective, that could be you closing out a cycle. And maybe these are just other characters. Okay, maybe this is you. Maybe you've built something up to the 7 of Pentacles. And here are your parents, right? Or somebody in the environment. An air sign feminine, Queen, and the Emperor, a boss. Okay. I think probably the biggest thing that I'm seeing for you is the closing out of a cycle. The sense that you have achieved something and that you are progressing along your path here. Talk to us about the Empress. We already talked about it a little bit. We've got a 7 of Cups, we have a 9 of Pentacles, and we have the 7 of Swords again. Okay, yeah. Well, we've got a 7 and a 9 and a 7 and a 3. Odd numbers here. Yeah. It's confusing. It's been real confusing trying to understand what's happened. When people are deceptive, it does cause a lot of confusion. It's very confusing. It makes you feel kind of cuckoo sometimes. Makes you feel a little like, what's really going on here? Right? Nonetheless, though, here you are in this 9 of Pentacles, and yes, you are the Empress. You've just had a really hard time of it. And again, this shows that not only is your Empress quality, which are all the queens in the deck, okay, suppressed on some level, but this single and abundant person is also suppressed. It's hard for you to tap into either one of these energies because of what's happened. It's screwed things up energetically for you. You've been trying to keep it balanced. But I get the sense that I think that this has been going on for some time. Okay, because how else do you have an whole Empress that you have suppressed? Not to mention a beautiful single energy, totally suppressed. Unless that was just brutal. I don't know. You might be sensitive too, collective, okay? We all have differing levels of sensitivity. But anyway, we have a 3 of Swords over here in the recent past. This speaks to that heartbreak. Let's see what this... Oh, I'm going to move these guys. What does Spirit have to say about that? What do you have to say about it, Spirit? We have an Ace of Wands, a Queen of Swords. There it is again. There's that Queen of Swords up there. And an Ace of Cups. With the World, it's almost like you're walking away from this air sign feminine and this boss energy. They might be in a partnership here. It's like you're closing something out. Maybe you had started building something with them, or I'm not sure exactly. But I bring it up because I see here the Queen of Swords here in your energy. It could be you that's this Queen of Swords, but I'm not thinking so. I'm not. I don't think so. I don't. I wonder if part of the deception or the rivalry and deception that has occurred in the past has to do with a new start. That maybe that's what was taken from you. We have an Ace of Cups, so a new start in love and a new creative project. Okay. And I'm wondering if that has something to do with the Seven of Swords, because it does show up twice here. We have, wow, 2 Seven of Swords. Okay, right here. And we have those 2 aces. Maybe they stole your new beginning somehow. Maybe these people who are in a rivalry with you, that you now have to face and confront, maybe that's what they took from you. Okay? You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be literal, but if they were bullying and putting you down and making you seem less than, perhaps, it could have tainted people's views or opinions about you. People's, interest in you. Could have caused people to not want to get to know you, talk to you, befriend you. So whatever this, I almost feel like it was slander over here. Talking smack. Talking a whole bunch of shit. For a long time. So, yeah. Why? Why do humans behave that way? They're jealous, they're hateful, they've got shadows that they haven't worked out. They are entitled, they think, they have a right to do that to you. They lack a moral compass, they're jaded, they need to heal. I'm not sure why people do that, collective, but if this has happened to you, I'm very, very sorry. I'm very sorry that this has happened. It's definitely not right. I hope the Justice card comes out here because, yeah, sometimes that's what we got to do, is make things right. We got to start by speaking truth, all right? So speak up, collective. Don't let any kind of fear stop you. You do not need to be afraid. Gaslighters will try to make you feel afraid. But if you can see the game that they're playing, you can just decide that you're not going to react to it. Don't give it 1 ounce of your energy. And that's my advice to you, if that happens to you, okay? Ignore that like you've never ignored anything in your life, to the point that you not only believe that it doesn't affect you, but that it actually doesn't affect you. We've got the Magician here with the Wheel of Fortune. We have a Knight of Pentacles and a Queen of Cups. Alrighty. Well, this is kind of nice, you guys. I like this for you. This wheel is turning, and it looks to be turning. This is almost like the turning point, okay? Because you're going to get a couple of aces back. We see that here, okay, along the pathway here. Okay, whatever was taken, it's going to be restored. There's a little bit more heartache to get through and pain with the Nine of Swords, but you're on your way, okay? We've got ace, ace, victory, lovers. And right here we can see how it's manifesting, that last little sequence. We have a Wheel of Fortune. The karmic wheel is turning, and I believe it's turning in your favor, collective. We have a Magician, somebody who's manifesting. Okay, they know what they want to create. They know what they want to attract, bring in. Okay, I guess the Magician is more about creation. If it was the High Priestess, it would be more about attracting. But nonetheless, two different aspects of manifestation here. And what do we have? We have a Knight of Pentacles and a Queen of Cups facing each other. So there could be a masculine who's a little bit younger than you. And this could be you, the Queen of Cups collective. Flip the roles. But, you know, this could be a love situation. Earth and water go well together. They're congruent energies. They complement one another. Okay, Earth gives a little structure to the, you know, nebulous and flowy water, and water nourishes the Earth. And so, yeah, I do see that there's a lot of potential here with whoever this is. This might be somebody you're going to be working with. This might be a love situation. It's some type of a partnership that might be the thing that is going to wind up here in the Lovers, I guess is what I'm thinking. Lovers is Gemini energy there. The Queen of Cups is a water sign feminine. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Yeah, and the Knight of Pentacles is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Okay, so could be those signs, doesn't have to be. Talk to us about how feminine's seeing herself or themselves at this time. Collective, it looks like you've got 9 swords there. And now we have an 8 of Pentacles, a Tower, and a Hierophant. I'm getting that, starting to get a feeling like, because there's an authority figure who understands rules and to some extent has to follow the rules, okay, because of his position, that this tower that has fallen down in your life, perhaps after you built something, is being witnessed. It's being witnessed, and it's going to be made right. Okay, it's going to allow you to totally close out whatever that double 7 of Swords betrayal was back there. Whatever's blocking your light. Okay. Whatever's suppressing your divine feminine, you know, energy. Not only that, but the Empress, she's a partner to the boss. She's a boss, right? In a way, okay? So you're going to be able to step back into your more authentic self, back into your light. You're going to be regaining your natural powers, okay? You are a leader, and as this healing journey progresses, and this karmic wheel turns, it is turning in your favor, because I don't see that you really did anything wrong. If you're standing in the star energy, you're a freaking healer. You're not going to go around intentionally trying to hurt people, okay? That's kind of just not it, right? So anyway, you're confronting this now. Finally, there's a sense that perhaps you were avoiding it because your inner, part of yourself that likes to get things done and is confident and takes action might have been suppressed. But anyway, okay, enough about that. Here we go. Ace of Pentacles in the environment. We've got the Moon, we've got an Eight of Wands, and we've got a Seven of Wands. So we're talking about this Ace of Pentacles as something that is being perceived as a gift. Perhaps there's a perception that you will be receiving a gift, collective. It doesn't have to be monetary. It can be, in other ways. Anything of the material realm. It could be a home. It could be, new, jobs. It could be, new connections with people. It could just be a move. You could be moving. You know what I mean? But there's a sense with this that there's something that's not being seen clearly about it. There's also a perception in the environment that you, perhaps more than before, are standing up for yourself. You're speaking out with the Eight of Wands, and you are defending your position with the Seven of Wands. You're strong, and you're standing in your power. And you might be bringing things to light just by speaking, by telling the truth. And it could be affecting something to do with this Ace of Pentacles. I don't really know, but this is all out in the environment. So this is what is being perceived by others, and then their perception is then having an effect on you, collective. And so as I'm thinking about this, let's say something like this has happened, where somebody's come up against you, they've done something terrible to you. Maybe they've just slandered you, or tried to run you out of town, or, I don't know, screwed up your education, or, done something discriminatory or unjust. There's a sense now that there's not much that they can do. Okay, the Ace of Pentacles is here. The truth is being revealed, and you're standing strong. The truth is coming to light, and you're standing strong. So, and that's the truth. And here we do have the Ace of Swords. This is a hope. This is a hope that you are going to receive truth. Okay, and that truth is going to help you continue to move ahead. Okay, like we were saying, how in the Moon energy, where was it? Back here. I think we had another Moon out. There's a lot of confusion. Things are confusing in the Moon energy. I guess that might have been a previous reading. And nobody likes to feel confused. That's not a good feeling. We can try to release it as much as possible, but when it's affecting our ability to connect with others and relationships and such, it's not the greatest feeling. Oh, there we got another one, a Nine of Swords, a Knight of Cups, and Strength. Yeah, this feeling is lingering. We were just talking about. Now it's a hope and a fear. I said it's a hope that you get the truth, but we see that you're still all up in your head. Somebody might come in with a love offer, okay, a knight. This person might be very noble. I see a lion as being kind of a noble creature. And this woman here who's working with taming the lion, she's very gentle as well. So there's gentle strength here. And I think there's a need for you, definitely collective, to stand in your strength, keep being your beautiful, gentle self, but know how strong you are. Know that there's love available to you that will be coming toward you. And understand that it is okay to grieve. If you're still grieving and you're still growing through it, well, that's okay. You're strong and you will get through this, even if it's taken a long time. Alrighty. You see you're having a victory, collective. I know this is a bit heavy, but you are having a victory here. Yes, you are. You've got a 6 of Wands. You are being seen and celebrated. You have a lot of people who support and love you, collective. You do. I know this has just felt brutal. I know it has, because I can see it in the cards here. Being stabbed in the back over and over and over, and then having to sit there without the truth, right? Having lost something that you needed, that you could have used and that you needed. Probably not just once. We have 2 7 of Swords out there. Could have been 2 big cycles of that or more. I don't know. But let's try to shift gears and focus on this win that you're having. Well, somebody else is having a loss because you're having a win. Yeah, it's the devil. They're going down and you get to have a new beginning. Okay? Somebody is going to have to go down. It's just the way that the scales balance. You know? Somebody does wrong. Sorry, but that's just what it is. Okay? So, there's lots of different ways of going down. Okay? But if you have been wrong, just trust that karma and the divine will be balancing things out for you, and you will indeed be having your new start here. Okay? Because the divine, spirit, God is a lot more powerful at the end of the day than this devil energy. Many of the people, if there were many that were involved, will be coming to their senses. They might find God. They might have a come to Jesus moment. They might decide, well, now would be a good time for me to have another look at myself. Maybe it's time to go and confess or repent, or I don't know, do something. Because that karmic wheel is turning right there, baby. It is. It sure is. It's right there, and it affects anybody and everybody. It doesn't turn for one person or a couple of people. There's that one song, I think it's a Van Morrison song. I think it's like something about when the rough God goes riding, there'll be no body standing. When that rough God comes rolling on in, or something to that effect. Look it up. It's that karmic wheel that he's singing about. After something horrendous happens, and it's seen widely, what do you think's going to happen? It's egregious. But humans can be horrible. Look at what happened with Hitler. That wasn't cool. All right. Look what's happening right now with Israel and Palestine, Palestinians. It's like a David and Goliath. Something really unfair about that, I think. Anyway, Well, here we have the Lovers, and this is your final outcome cards, collective. Here it is again. It's still in the energy. There's still a sense of adversity and conflict for you. But you've learned a lot, collective, okay? You have learned so much on this path, on this journey, and this might be a situation that you're going to have to learn to live with. You know what they say, you know, if you shine a bright light, you're always going to have some haters. It's just part of being the star, right? So, but you've learned a lot. You're going to be finding a lover if you don't already have one, okay? You know how to take action. You know what you need to do, and you're willing to do it. Okay, you're willing to be brave. I mean, this is a courageous energy here, this Knight of Wands. And not only that, you have maintained your loving nature. You continue to have the ability to embody this King of Cups energy, which is really, really nice, okay? You're setting a good example by embodying that energy. You know, the King of Cups is very nurturing, but he makes sure to express his love, okay? And yeah. So I do see, you know, this might be the person that's coming in for you too, collective. It might be this King of Cups, a masculine water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. So you have shown a lot of grit here, collective, getting through this. You know, it's like in every bit of this reading, okay, every time I pull cards on every time I pull 3 clarifiers, there's one in there that's, at least one that's challenging, painful, difficult, adverse. So it just tells me that whatever you have been going through, it has been challenging, and I do think the divine recognizes that, and I think that's probably why you're being rewarded here with a beautiful connection here. You deserve it. You deserve it. Yeah. All right. A couple of oracles here, please, Spirit, for the collective. Resolution. Whatever it is that you've been struggling with is about to be resolved. Remember that resolutions don't always happen in the way we hope or want, but being able to move forward and start fresh always brings relief. Well, that's pretty synchronistic. Let's see here. Connect. You're being asked to connect with others in meaningful ways. Sometimes it's helpful to get new perspectives and to simply be around other people. You're in need of this right now, and deep connections will benefit you in many ways. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of connection here. You're at odds throughout a lot of this reading, collective, so I do recognize. Here's a bright spot, though. We'll put it with the Wheel of Fortune here. There is this one bright spot right here. Behind the Magician, you've got Connect. Yeah. Okay, these are nice cards here. And I love that the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups are, in fact, looking at each other. I want to hold these up because, yeah. Okay. We'll put those there. Last one, please, Spirit. Reassess. You're being asked to take stock of your life and let go of anything or anyone that no longer makes you happy. Notice who and what brings you joy, and who and what doesn't. It's time for some life cleanup. Yeah, yeah. That's a perfect card for this reading. All of these little issues, these are, notice how every time a card like that comes out, it stimulates a certain kind of a thought in my mind, right? And those are thoughts that I would prefer not to have, or that I would prefer to state in a different way. If I'm feeling irritable or tired, which I am a little bit, full disclosure, then I am more prone to seeing some of these cards in a more negative way, rather than seeing the opportunity in that Nine of Swords. I see it as a negative thing. And so with this idea that we need to reassess and do cleanup in our life, it's not necessarily get rid of these people, because there are always going to be people like that. It's clean up your mind, clean up your thinking, right? Yeah, I'm really getting that here. Okay, you guys? So that is your reading. Thank you for tuning in. Bye for now.